I don't know. The best gift may be getting Muzio to tell a story, because I've been around him 4 or 5 times and I can't get more than 3 words out of him. But that was beautiful. Thank you. So I've told more than a couple brick and beam stories about this house I'm doing in Boston Edison. And if you've been coming to all the brick and beams and remember all my stories, then get a life. But my first story was like the story of the first gift the house gave me, which was connecting with a high school classmate, a guy I just barely knew, who took my slot on student council because he promised to get rid of plastic forks, and we've sometimes called the house Plastic Forks. And that turned into this other gift of all of our high school classmates are like, wait a minute, you guys didn't hang out in high school and you're doing a house in Detroit together, and what's that about? And people from around the country have been saying, what's going on in Detroit with this house? And the gift has been several of them have come to Detroit just to see the house and try to understand how crazy we are for doing this. The second story I told at Brick and Beam was about getting to know my contractors and just the gift of being around people who work in the trades. And that gift has kept giving, because the project's nearly done, and we're getting to the point in the game where the contractors will say, Jeff, is it okay if I bring my wife? They're so proud of their work, and so many of them are doing this extra work and going this extra mile because they've just really adopted the house. And then there are these neighbors who were like ecstatic. They didn't know who I was. They didn't care who I was. Somebody put a roof on the house, and somebody was going to take the boards off the only boarded up house on Voight Park in Boston Edison. And I got a Christmas card from a neighbor I don't know 2 days ago, but she knew me. And so there are these gifts that come just from doing this. But ultimately, I think for me, the best gift the house has given is that the process itself has revealed something about me, something about why I moved to Detroit in the first place, and why I would undertake to make a house and to live out this part of my life, probably the last decade of my productive life, in Detroit instead of coasting it out in Ann Arbor where I came from. And I think there's something about rehabbing a house that makes you look at bubbles, because everybody's got a bubble. Not only in their house, we've all got bubbles. We all have beams that sag. We all have things in our life that if we were to rip open the walls, we would find the mold that doesn't let us breathe. We would find things about ourselves that we might say, how am I going to fix this? What's the right fix for this? And then with a house, with an old historic house, you can say, this house has been here since 1913. These beams are sagging because they're entitled to sag. But I'm not just going to put drywall over them. I'm going to replace them. I'm going to do the 100-year repair. And easily the first $100,000 we put into the building, you will never see. It is that investment in the inner self of the building. And rehabbing a home in Detroit, I think, is an investment in the inner part of ourselves that lead us to do this nonsense in the first place. And I think everybody has a reason for wanting to do something. If you're in this room, you have some connection, and it's not just about the bricks, and it's not just about the beams, it's not just about the mortar, it's a reflection of you, what you're doing. And so I think the greatest gift that my house has given me, now that we have cleaned the dust off the mirrors, is you can see what's in that reflection. You can walk in the house and see the beauty of the house. And for me, when Andy Lisi is playing a particularly good song on a Saturday morning, and I'm alone in the house vacuuming with the shop vac for the 500th time, and dancing my ass off because we're almost done and the dust is almost over, I can celebrate that I've not only rehabbed a building. I think someone else said it earlier, you rehab yourself. There's something tactile in touching the building that lets you touch your own heart and your own soul. And I'm confident that no matter what happens in this house moving forward, however I live in my community, the greatest gift this house can ever give me is that connection with myself and with the people around me.